Hi, welcome back to the Cozy Coffee Corner here at Flickspresso, where we will be unraveling cinema one sip at a time. Okay, today in this episode we will be talking about The Invisible Man.
I'll show you who I am and what I am.
So to those of you who don't know the classic Universal monsters, I'm gonna be listing them right here. Their names are, and they might ring a bell, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. You may or may not have seen these movies, or some of them, or all of them. If you haven't seen all of these movies, don't worry, I haven't either. I am on a mission to still see them all, because the classic Universal monsters, they're kind of a fascination of mine. I've seen 6 of them, 6. I'm still missing 2. So The Invisible Man was directed by James Whale in 1933, starring Claude Rains and Gloria Stewart. The movie is based on H.G. Wells' novel of the same name. The Invisible Man currently holds 95% at Rotten Tomatoes and an 85% audience score, which is pretty good for a movie from the early 1930s, if you ask me. So the film follows Dr. Jack Griffin, a brilliant scientist who discovers the secret to invisibility through a series of experiments with a drug called monocaine. However, his newfound power comes at a great cost, as Griffin struggles to maintain his sanity and control his increasingly erratic behavior. As he descends into madness, Griffin becomes a dangerous and unseen force, terrorizing the English countryside while pursued by authorities and former colleagues. Sounds good, right? So what are the issues? So while The Invisible Man is praised as a classic, it doesn't come without its flaws. Some critics have pointed to pacing issues, especially in the middle act, where the relentless pursuit of Griffin can feel a little bit repetitive. Additionally, certain plot elements may appear dated or implausible by contemporary standards, such as the ease with which Griffin is able to evade capture despite his invisibility. Interesting. So the reason The Invisible Man still continues to resonate with audiences to this day is, first of all, because of its groundbreaking visual effects. They used to paint the actor black, and they use a black background because obviously green screens didn't exist yet, but also the themes of power, identity, and the dangers of unchecked ambition. These themes are as relevant now as they were back in 1933, inviting viewers to reflect on the ethical implications of scientific progress and also the human capacity for both greatness and depravity.
He had my permission to carry out his own experiments in his spare time. And to clear off when he liked, for as long as he liked.
Oh, what does it matter if he's in trouble?
Claude Rains' version of The Invisible Man has embedded itself in history as a popular cultural icon because of these themes that I just explained, and also because of his iconic looks with the band-aids and the sunglasses, you know what I mean. Sometimes I go to Comic-Con, and one time I had the idea to dress up as Claude Rains' version of The Invisible Man, except I couldn't find the exact same clothes that he was wearing in the movie, so I ended up not going dressed as The Invisible Man. In conclusion, James Whale's Invisible Man endures as a cinematic classic despite its imperfections. Its innovative visual effects, compelling storytelling, and timeless themes continue to captivate audiences, cementing its status as a cornerstone of the horror genre. While the film may show its age in certain respects, its certain appeal lies in its ability to provoke thoughts and evoke fear, inviting viewers to confront their own fears and vulnerabilities. As long as audiences are drawn to tales of mystery, science, and the darker aspects of human nature, The Invisible Man will continue to fascinate and terrify for generations to come. Personally, when I first watched The Invisible Man, I wasn't scared, but maybe that's because I was watching it in broad daylight, and also maybe because it's a black and white movie from the 1930s. Who knows? But I like the certain aspects of humor in the movie. I think of all the classic Universal monster movies that I've seen so far, I think The Invisible Man would be the funniest. Especially Una O'Connor's performance.
I want a room and a fire.
Jenny!
Hello?
Una O'Connor plays like the lady who works at the inn, who owns the inn, I believe. And she's like constantly hysterical about everything. She screams and she's like all the time. I read somewhere that this was because she used to be a stage actress. When you're a stage actor or actress, you have to like show big emotions, no small emotions like on the screen, but in theaters you gotta play big. It's something I learned from acting as well. I myself have had 5 or 6 years of theater classes when I was younger. When you're playing on stage, you have to exaggerate all your emotions. You can play small. You can play small for the screen. But if you're used to being a stage actor, you will be exaggerating all of your emotions. And Una O'Connor's performance in this movie is a clear sign of that. She's constantly hysterical about everything. I love that about her. I also read that the director, James Whale, that he could not control his laughter behind the scenes, which is a very adorable thing, if you ask me, actually. I don't remember how many times I've seen this movie exactly, but it's just like the previous episode, I was talking about Clue, and like The Invisible Man is also one of my comfort movies. It's also one of the movies I go to when I'm sad. It's like it always brings a smile on my face. Just Claude Rains' performance as the Invisible Man. He's like very, I don't know what it is with his voice, but he talks so clearly, like the pronunciation of all of his words, you know, like.
It came to me suddenly. The drugs I took seemed to light up my brain. Suddenly I realized the power I held. The power to rule, to make the world grovel at my feet.
It's like this transatlantic accent. Back in the days they used to teach transatlantic accents, and that's because most older audio devices couldn't pick up on the soft R's and some other things. So actors and actresses were taught to talk with like the hard R and like the very, I'm very productive today, you know, the you know what I mean? That was with the sole reason that microphones could pick up their audio better. But I don't think that's the only reason. I think Claude Rains also just did it because he was British. Could that be a reason? I don't know, maybe that was just part of his normal accent. I don't know, I haven't seen any interviews about him or with him. I think it's very fitting for the character. Let's put it like that. Also, Gloria Stewart's performance.
I want to help you.
Gloria Stewart's character is the love interest in the movie. I don't remember what her character is called, but like this actress would later become known as Old Rose from Titanic, so you may know her. She was a huge actress in the 1930s. It's very uncanny to look at the movie and look at the actress and be like, whoa, 60 years later, she's gonna play Old Rose in Titanic. And now she's young, you know? So this would be young Rose, right? All in all, I love The Invisible Man, like the movie, but also the character. It's very well written. H.G. Wells did a fantastic job. He also approved a screenplay, so even though the movie isn't much like the book, the author gave his permission for this movie to be made, so that is a good thing, I would say.
What happened to him?
So in 2020, director Lee Whannell directed a modern version of The Invisible Man. It stars Elizabeth Moss as the character Cecilia Cass, who is basically being stalked by her mad scientist ex-boyfriend who found a way to turn himself invisible. By updating the story for modern audiences and also exploring themes such as gaslighting and trauma, the remake breathed new life into the classic tale, while also paying homage to its cinematic predecessor.
Let me help you.
You can't help me. Surprise.
So even though the 1933 version and the 2020 version are two completely different movies, they're both good in their own way. The new one is actually scary compared to the old one. The old one is more like a cute isn't really the right word, is it? Anyway, I love both of these movies. I'd recommend them both to you. You may have seen the 2020 version, but if you get the chance, you can try to find the original 1933 version somewhere. I don't know if you can watch it anywhere online, but they're still selling the DVDs, and I believe there's even a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray version being sold right now. So if you manage to get your hands on a copy of this movie, don't forget to let me know down in the comments what you think about it. And also don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And then I'll be seeing you next time.